crack a Croy one with the boys.
Yeah. Three, two, one.
That was really
slow.
slow.
Yeah, you were late.
I wasn't late, I was slow.
This is not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The aftertaste is weird.
It is. It tastes like
actual grapefruit.
Yeah, it tastes like diet soda. So today we're drinking Ruby Grapefruit White Claw.
Yeah.
And I was worried because I don't like grapefruit, but this doesn't taste that bad, honestly. It's not the worst. Definitely not the worst thing that we've had thus far.
I know we said that we would do mango, but I realized that we didn't have it in our variety pack that we bought previously, even though it was on like the list ranking of White Claw.
Once we run out of more of the White Claw, we'll get it, maybe. So this is a podcast where in the beginning we rank something we don't like and drink something we don't like, and then talk about something we do like. So let's get into our rankings and
Croy my heart.
Croy my heart and Croy my heart. Okay, let's see. All right, so our current rankings are strawberry mango number 1, lemon, black cherry White Claw, passion fruit, pineapple strawberry, berry, lime, coconut, pure, coffee exotica last. So I'm thinking, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this one a little better than the black cherry. Mostly because this tastes like it tastes like there's actually sugar in this. It does. It has included sugars in it. It says added sugars in it. It does taste like there's sugar in it, which is why I actually like it, because it almost tastes like actual soda.
I don't like it because it makes me feel sick.
But for the past 3 weeks, you've been saying you're sick. So that's not a good indication.
But this one actually makes me feel sick. The other ones made me feel like I could be sick. But this one, it just hurts.
Well, where would you like to put it? Where are you thinking?
I guess between black cherry and passion fruit.
All right, sure. We can do that. All right, and just to give you... So for reference for the rankings... For black cherry, which is right above, I gave it a 3. You gave it a 2.5. And then for passion fruit, I gave it a 2. And that one's right below it. I gave it a 2.8, and you gave it a 2.49. I think I'm going to give this a 3. I'm going to rank it the same as black cherry. What do you want to rank it?
I guess 2.5. So the same.
That was Croy My Heart, and now we're going to do My Croy to Bear. So when we finish the drink, we gotta say that we finished it.
We have to try to say that we finished it.
We've been doing good the past couple weeks, though. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of our podcast, where we talk about the thing that we enjoyed this week. So this week was my pick. It was the movie Promare. It's Promare. I always want to say Promare. It's Promare. So this is an anime movie. It's done by the same studio that did the anime series like Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. So I'm going to give you the very, very quick summary, because the actual Wikipedia summary was like 3 paragraphs long, and it was too much. And it was just the whole plot of the movie, and I thought it was too much. So here we go. 30 years has passed since the appearance of Burnish, a race of flame-wielding mutant beings who destroyed half of the world with fire. When a new group of aggressive mutants appears, a battle begins. That's very, very vague, but there you go. I'll start with my general review first. So I saw the poster of this movie. No, I don't know. I think I was looking at a Twitter, someone's Twitter who I like their fan art of. And they started drawing some Promare stuff. And I was like, what is this Promare thing? So I Google searched it, I saw the poster, and then I was like, that movie looks gay. That was the first thought that came to my mind. I was like, this looks like a gay movie. And then I found out that Trigger made it, and I was like, I bet it's not a gay movie. That was like, it's not a gay movie, never mind. So then the movie hadn't even come out in Japan yet, I think. So I only got to watch it like maybe a couple weeks ago. Even though I wanted to see it in theaters, you didn't want to see it in theaters. But fun news is that it's actually coming back to theaters in April, and I may make you go and see it with me. So we'll see.
We'll see.
They're gonna show the shorts too in the movie. So there's 2 shorts.
Oh, okay.
We didn't watch them. So if you want to go see it, it's gonna be coming to a theater near you if you want to see it in theaters. Like I said, I thought I was like, this isn't a gay movie. And then I watched the movie a couple weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. Even though normally I don't typically like mecha animes. I find them to be a little too boring and drawn out. But I feel like because this is a movie.
Alana hates space adventure type things, except for Star Trek.
Well, Star Trek's different. Star Trek, okay. Star Trek, the reason I like Star Trek is because Star Trek is more about the relationships between the characters and less so. So the reason that I like this versus like other mecha animes is I feel like a lot of those shows have to have a lot of filler, where this is a movie, so there's not a lot of filler in it. Like, for example, if this was an actual show, which I feel like if it was a show, I still would have enjoyed it, and I think there's a possibility I could have enjoyed it more, but I also think there would have been a lot more that I didn't like about it, because I feel like all the action, it was very fast-paced, and it wasn't, like, super drawn out. It wasn't, like, 3-episode long, like, fight scenes where they're mostly standing around and they're talking. Like, the talking was very minimal. It was just, like, we're talking so that we can get to the next part of the fight. So that's why I liked it. Even though I think my favorite scenes of the action parts were when they weren't in the robots, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Where like maybe only one of them was in the robot, but that's just because I don't really like robots that much. But the robot parts were good. And then also in terms of like the animation style, obviously most of it was hand-drawn stuff, but there was like a little bit of like 3D mixed into it. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, I think it worked. Mm-hmm. Some of it was a little bit like clunky looking and it didn't look great all the time. Most of it I could forgive it because most of the animation was really good. Yeah. So it was really nice to look at. The colors were really nice. Yeah. The majority of the music, other than the first song, which sounded like a Christian rock song, was good. I don't like that song. Other than that one, the music was good. The story was really simple. It was simple, but I feel like some of it was a little bit too much. But they almost made a joke out of it, like when they're explaining the whole plot with the with the cyber guy, and then like Gallows like sleeping because he doesn't understand it. Because it's like this is a whole
like
thing.
The actual plot that happened during the movie was simple.
But like the background plot was a lot, and I even like the first time I watched it, I think I had to go back and watch it again to try to understand what they were talking about because it was just so much at once. So that was a little bit much.
Should I try to explain the plot?
If you want to, but anyway, even if you don't understand it though, you can enjoy it just fine. Like as long as you know that they're like the fire's from a different dimension and they're trying to get the dimension back together. That's like the 2 things you need to know. It's everything else is kind of like it's a lot, but
the fire's sentient.
Oh, you want to go? Oh, I thought you were gonna go and explain the plot. But anyway, I for the most part I enjoyed the characters. I feel like there were a lot of characters, so I feel like that kind of hindered it in terms of being able to develop a lot of them and their relationships because there's just like so many of them. But I also enjoyed and appreciated that they gave in the names of all the characters, and they always said their full names sometimes, like too. So that you're just like because they know that there's so many characters that you're just not going to remember all of them. Although that's a thing that Trigger has done in the past with other animes too, like having their names up all the time. Or like having their names up and giving them their little like character cards, because the fact that it's getting a re-release in the US shows how successful it was. That's a really good thing too, that it did so well for an anime movie. But because it wasn't a Ghibli movie, the fact that it had so much success is pretty good. Yeah, and so I think it's just a simple story, fun characters. It's just a fun movie that I feel like pretty much anyone can watch. I thought it was really good.
I felt like it was hard for me to get into it. I definitely agree that it looked great. The colors were great. It had like a unique style that for the most part worked. They had some, fun, cool shots, like putting the text of like people's names or like the weird like mecha suits names and special moves. I thought that was kind of fun. But I thought that the action scenes were a lot. I don't really like action that much as a person, but I still feel like if I did, like they did have like some like cool ideas for shots, but sometimes it made it hard to like actually appreciate the action for just being pure action, like being like cool moves.
Okay.
And it was like really busy and kind of like hard to follow.
Like...
And then mixed with the colors and
okay.
the funky animation, which was cool, but it was a lot, and it was a lot to process. And it was a lot of the movie.
I feel like most people would debate that that's what makes it interesting because it's over the top. That's the point, is that it's supposed to be this over the top thing.
But I need time to breathe.
Yeah, but that's a point. That's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, it's fine that you don't like it. I just also think that people who do like it would use that as a reason that they like it.
Because I do agree, like, it didn't, slow down. I guess I liked the characters, but I felt like I didn't really get that much from them.
Yeah.
As I would like. It was mostly just the main character and him doing whatever he did as an anime protagonist. Mm-hmm. Even the female lead, she kind of seemed like a nothing person.
I feel like they tried, though.
Yeah.
She was in a decent amount of scenes.
Sometimes, I feel in an anime mood, and I haven't for a while. There's a lot of energy. I have a question, though.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
The one thing that I can't figure out is whether or not these people are aging or not.
Oh, yeah. They don't. I think when they're in the cave, Leo... I always twist their names up. I have problems. I was called Leo Gala and Galileo. Anyway...
Galileo.
I know, that's the ship. I was gonna get into that. That's our ship name. It's it's a good ship name. Although Victory is the best ship name to ever exist.
It is real good.
It's so good.
Real good.
Anyway, so Leo, he explained when they were in the cave, he said that basically they live forever as long as they're able to burn stuff. They have to burn stuff basically to be alive. So it allows them to always be like to heal themselves and stuff. And basically, I think it's implied that that's how they like don't age, is because the flames keep their cells alive basically, and allow them to not age anymore. So that's what's implied. I do agree with you. The first time watching it, I was like, I didn't even know. See, the only reason I knew that the only reason I knew Leo was so old was because of a fan fiction I read. And I was just like, why is he 30-something years old? I don't understand. I was like, he doesn't look that age. I'm like, okay. I was like, where'd they get that from? And it's because...
So, they never noticed that the mayor guy didn't age.
Maybe he didn't use his powers as much, and that kept him aging.
Another question I have.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
I don't know how the people got there in the first place. The fire aliens.
Oh, I think it was just kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like a space anomaly where like the universes got out of sync, and then it just kind of like messed up. Maybe it's because of global warming. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like this is a bit of a metaphor for global warming a little bit. Well, it is a race. I feel like it also is about racism a little bit too. It's literally like X-Men almost.
X-Men.
Because X-Men is a metaphor for racism.
Yeah.
So it's almost like that, but I think it's just because maybe it's just the way that we were treating the Earth got the two parallel universes to go out of sync, and then they entered through like the crack, I guess. Like in Doctor Who, they got through the crack.
Crack attack.
Crack attack. in the universe, and then that's how they got there. And so it was only the people that could sync with the power that turned it to burnish. Any more questions that I can vaguely answer for you? I'm going to take that as a no. All right, so now we're going to do our best boy. And so I have my best boy, and my best boy is Gallo. I chose Gallo because I feel like he legitimately is the best boy. He, I would say, is very much I think he's lawful good, almost to his detriment, because he also doesn't like the Burnish very much, but I also think it's part of his ignorance towards them. And so as he slightly, like I said, one of the problems with this movie is that it's kind of almost too short. But you can go ahead and say what
I feel like he has a reckless manner, though.
Yeah, but he does it
He has a code, but also he doesn't follow others' codes.
I feel like he does it because he feels like that's the best way to save everyone, though. I feel like if he stuck to the code, it would be... When I think of like lawful good, it's like you respect the law, but you also know when to break the law, if that makes sense. Because sometimes
he breaks it every day.
I don't think he does. In what way? Give me an example. Even though that only spanned like 2 days, but go ahead, give me an example.
Just in every, well, he shows up late. That's not someone who's truly lawful to do.
Meant to show up late. I feel like it was like a result of them trying to get they had to transport the machine, and that part was late. I don't think he literally was late.
I feel like you told me he was late, or the show said it was late. He was late. Well,
I don't think that's in his character.
I think it's in his character.
We don't know. We have to watch the shorts.
All right. Well, from what I saw, I don't think there's enough evidence to say he's completely lawful. But anyway, I guess, it's a good choice.
All right, sure. Anyway, I think he's got such a good heart. He's like a puppy. Everyone calls him idiot, but that's just because people call him a himbo. You know what himbos?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they're like, he's a himbo. And the internet loves himbos. So.
Well, you didn't like Keith from the Scooby-Doo episode. You say you don't like jocks.
He's not a good person. The thing with himbos is they have to have a good heart. That's what I'm saying. They have to be basically like puppies. Like just dogs.
He's like an evil puppy.
Like Bella.
Kinda.
I don't know. But anyway, that's why, because he's not.
My best boy is Ignis, the fire chief. I feel like he could do no wrong. I feel like he probably is lawful good.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I had an instant connection with him when he first showed up on screen.
All right.
I don't know why. I think it's because I'm playing this game that I accidentally downloaded and got addicted to.
All right.
And there was this character called Ignis, and also the Final Fantasy thing.
Final Fantasy 15, the car boys is Ignis. He also has they both have glasses, and they both have the same color hair.
I just got so excited when I found out his name was Ignis, and he just didn't disappoint.
Yeah, he was.
And,
he's a good character.
He can do no wrong in my eyes. He's a golden boy.
I'm dying. You're right, though. I agree. I definitely agree with you. That's a good pick. So I have 2 honorable mentions. I was really boring with this episode. I'm not gonna lie. It's my 2 honorable mentions. I have Leo, and I also have Ina. I like Leo. I think he would be under chaotic good if I had to put him under something. I feel like he is like a rebel. He's just a rebel guy, and he's trying to save the people. And he does what he needs to do it. And he doesn't really think too much about it. He's like, I'm gonna get captured by these people so that I can save my people. Even though he's like 30 plus years old, he looks like he's 12, which is unfortunate. But it's like, I should put Bacano on the list. Have you ever watched Bacano?
No, but I thought about it more than once.
I'll put Bacano on the list. And he comes around to want to save everyone. And yeah. And then Ina, I like Ina a lot, even though she wasn't in the show too much. I think oftentimes I'm not a big fan of female characters in anime, not because they're females, but just because they're poorly written. Again, this coming around to like the shortcomings of the movie. There's just not enough time to develop a lot of the characters, but I still feel like Ina, she did her best to support everyone, and she was in a decent chunk of the movie, trying to do her best to help everyone out. So I appreciated when she was on screen. She was gonna do her best. And I always can appreciate a character who's out here doing her best.
I found Ina to be suspicious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I told you, and I was mostly joking, that I thought she was going to betray them.
Oh.
I thought she had a link with her sister or something.
Yeah, okay.
Or I don't know. She was gonna betray them and be kind of evil, but then she was gonna come around to their side at the end. Mm-hmm. I think it was because I thought she was boring, and they were kind of focusing on her, which I guess was good.
Yeah.
Because they weren't having her be a throwaway character.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see her, like, being more developed. But, like, I couldn't figure out why she was, like, so there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Unless she was going to be some important plot thing.
Yeah.
And I thought because there wasn't much there, it was going to be like, oh, you thought she wasn't that important. But
okay.
yeah, but I also think it was because at the time I was just trying to think of theories. And that one kind of stuck.
To be fair, you got the mayor right away. You're like, you're like, well, this mayor's evil. And I was like, oh.
Well, you kept talking about how they show people's last names sometimes, and that's because they're important.
Yeah, I did say that.
So I think that's part of the reason why. But I really, like, clung to the idea that he was evil because of his clenched fist. I'm like, why is his fist clenched? Like, why would they make that character choice? Also, his eyes were closed, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't trust people unless you make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you shake your hand. Because originally, that's, like, how you show that you're not holding any weapons. I read that somewhere. Don't fact check me. But yeah, just all the things that show that you can't trust him. He kind of looked like a villain.
Also, I redact. I'm going to change my mind. I think Leo is chaotic neutral. Wait, no. What was I going to say? Neutral something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that. But then as he kept talking, you kind of convinced me a bit.
I think he has some tendencies, chaotic tendencies.
Yeah.
But that's also because
it's the
he's a fire boy.
society he lives in.
Yeah. I just want to put that in there just in case someone was thinking it. I want to say I heard your thoughts through this podcast.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But I'm more inclined to agree with that.
Okay. Anyway. Go ahead.
So I would say my runner-up best boy is Gallo.
Oh,
Gallo.
Yes.
Pico de Gallo. He's a classic anime protagonist.
He is.
You could tell from his hair, the energy, the vibe he gives off. Mm-hmm. But, you know, he definitely has that good heart. He surprisingly didn't do anything problematic, which I appreciate.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't look up any girls' skirts.
No, he didn't.
Or touch any boobs accidentally. Yeah. Or otherwise, or fall into some boobs.
Yeah. Well, did he fall into Leo? Will we have a problem if he kissed a girl when she was unconscious? I mean, I guess not, because he's saving his life.
Yeah, it's the kiss of life.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it was
I don't think it would. No
problematic moments. Yeah, definitely the heart of this show. Then my second runner-up, third place, is Leo.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, that was a cool dude. You know, doing some cool stuff.
He's classic pretty boy.
Yeah, that's true.
White hair, well, I guess it's blonde.
It's like
platinum
electric
blonde.
Green.
It's got green all around it too, yeah.
30 years old.
The looking day over 12.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's how that works. Alright, so, Corey Boy. So, I have a lot of Corey Boys. So, Corey Boy, the boy that left a bad taste in my mouth, it was a difficult choice. I had plenty to choose from. I could have put more on my list, but I didn't. But my number one Corey Boy was Vinny the Mouse. And I'm going to tell you why it's Vinny the Mouse. It's not necessarily the things he did in the show, which was pretty much nothing. It was the fact that the movie created Vinny to be this mascot character, to sell items, and I don't like his representation of capitalism. Oh.
I didn't think we were going in that direction.
Sorry, okay.
Also, I just watched the Polygon video about Kirby and him being a metaphor for capitalism.
Yeah. I don't mean like it's a literal metaphor. He's a symbol of capitalism because every anime, well, not every anime, all these animes need a
where it intersects with art.
Yeah, it's like Vinny didn't add anything to this, but they had to add him because they needed it to make money for this movie that costs a lot of money because animation costs so much money. So you have to make sacrifices, like put these needless characters and waste money or waste time. You had to have these animators make these characters when they could have used those frames for other things. They had to waste them on Vinny because they needed to make sure that they made money. So they had to add this mascot character. So it's not so much the things he did, it's the thing that he is that I don't like. So there you go.
Okay. My Corey Boy is also Vinny.
Okay. What's your reasoning?
It's all for very superficial reasons.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine.
You know, I didn't like the look on his face.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember what Vinny really looks like that.
I was gonna say I didn't look.
At first, too, I was trying to, like, before we were watching the movie again, because I also remembered I didn't like Vinny, and I thought his name was Remus, first of all, but also I was like, I don't
When I was trying to remember his name,
when is he in this movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was in the beginning. Anyway, go ahead.
When I was trying to remember his name, I thought it was Remy, but I know that's the rat from Ratatouille. Yeah, I don't remember the look on his face. I almost said I don't like his smile, but I'm not sure if he ever smiled. I don't even know if he has a mouth, honestly.
I think he wears sunglasses. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he has sunglasses.
But also, the image of him holding a hot dog is burned in my mind, I don't like that.
He was holding a hot dog?
Yeah, during their first fight, he was, or maybe even like before, he was just holding a hot dog while in the mech suit. And, I don't know, I was just like, don't give that grimy little... that grimy little rat! Don't give him a whole hot dog! I don't know. That hot dog looks like bratwurst in his arms. It looked too thin and long. And, you know, I just didn't like that whole image.
Okay. Good to know.
He contributed nothing. But he got all the food. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, that's all very good points. Alright, so let me go through my four other points real quick. So I have Deus, the cyber ghost scientist man, mostly because he didn't think things very well through, because there's a joke where when they go into the lake and they burn it up, and they're like, well, what if no one ever came here? And he'd be like, well, I guess the Earth would have died. And it's like, that was luck, I guess. That was a weak plot point. But I do appreciate that they at least addressed it, because I was thinking that when I watched it the first time. Then there was Vulcan.
Well, I think... in his defense, I think it was like, he set all this up before he knew about the Earth, so he probably didn't know what it was all depending on. He thought, like, if I died, I want I don't know. I want to live on somehow.
No, I think it was more like he knew that Cray was going to betray him at some point, but he didn't know when, so, like, that was, like, his precaution. I just thought he could have done better. If he was so smart, he should have figured out a better way to make sure that the
maybe
Earth
he's just
safe.
bad at making friends and he didn't know who to tell.
Oh, maybe he has his own short and we can learn about him.
That's true, yeah.
And then there's Vulcan. He was the freeze force dude. He just was not. He was just boring. He didn't really have anything. He was just like, I'm evil.
Yeah, he's the foil to Ignis.
Yeah, he is, actually. He very much is the foil to Ignis, which I guess in a way helps Ignis, but it made him more of an interesting character, but also...
It's his own demon to fight.
But also, I just didn't like Vulcan. I thought he was... So, Ellis...
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Is Ina's sister. I thought that she... Even though I think she was one of the more interesting, quote-unquote, villain characters, her selfishness killed a lot of people. I think that makes her... not great. And then she kind of tries to turn it around, even though I think that she should be arrested because she killed a lot of people. Yeah. She was compliant, and in a way,
what was the point that made her turn around? Was it her sister?
I guess, yeah. I think it's because her sister wasn't going to join them, which is part of the reason why I appreciate Ina, because she was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ellis, she killed a bunch of people and then only turned around because her sister was just like, no. Which I think was still selfish. It was like, I'm not doing it because I care about people. I'm doing it because I care for this one person. And then BR, I guess, or something like that. That was Cray's, like, assistant. I just didn't like her. She had weird hair. She looked like a bird. And she was also too compliant. I didn't appreciate that. But I guess if you're gonna be the secretary to some evil guy, she was good for that, I guess. Yeah, I didn't like her hair. That was my main reason for not liking her. And she just said, a lot of times when she was on screen, it was her giving orders to do evil stuff.
I kind of liked her.
Okay.
I guess I didn't like it, but I'm neutral about it. There are things that I liked about it, and I didn't really care about her either way. I forgot about Vulcan, but I think he was alright as a character. You know, as a person, obviously, he was...
He has sharp teeth.
Yeah, and a tiny body and a big head.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of funny. It wasn't not
Yeah, it wasn't...
funny.
It wasn't cringy. It was just like, oh...
Yeah. So I thought he was alright. He served his purpose. It was satisfactory.
You did turn me around a little bit on that when you explained it as him being Ignis's foil. I'd maybe take him off.
So I guess my runner-up Croy Boy is also Deus Promet. I don't get much from him as a character except all his failures.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought he could do better, and
he wasn't
a very interesting person in death. I also didn't like his virus personality. I don't know.
His cyber ghost.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like he wasn't needed. We could just have like a video of him explaining it. Then my second runner-up is Ellis.
Oh.
You know, she didn't seem like that good of a person. She just did horrible things.
She did.
And there weren't any redeemable qualities that we could really see. Even though she tried to save her sister, you know, maybe she just didn't want to be alone.
Like, the only real difference between her and Cray is that she has someone she cares about. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. So, yep, that's it.
All right. Cool. All right, so I have a question for you.
Oh.
So you know, as you know in the show, near the end, Leo's dying, and Gal gives him the kiss of life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider Promare to be gay? Promare, excuse me. You don't have to say like it is a gay movie, but do you consider there to be gay elements in it? I guess is the question.
I guess.
Fangirls.
Oh, those are the two options?
No, I mean, it can be whatever you want. It can be anything in between.
I hate talking about queer baiting and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I always have the lowest expectations for everything. Unless it's like very explicit in how it happens, I'm like, whatever. That's just the society we live in. I feel like Japan's not there, so...
Yeah, Japan has issues. So your answer is I don't know.
The answer is I think there are gay elements. They could have done the kiss of life differently, you know, in the picture or whatever. I could see it. I could also see how it's not. I think they did intentionally get people's attention, but not, I don't know. I don't feel like they were really tricking people into it.
I don't think so either. I think if it had been Western animation, I would say that they were tricking people, honestly. And I'm going to tell you why. So I was actually recently, like literally, I think yesterday, or I was watching a video about queer baiting, and so like when I think of queer baiting, I think of something like Supernatural or also Good Omens. That's part of the reason I don't like Good Omens that much, where they basically have these characters, like they put characters in a scenario where it's like a will they won't they type thing, but it's clear that they would never be together, even though the characters flirt. And they have this sort of, they make it so that it seems like they have this chemistry, that there would be a scenario where they would be together, but they're never together. But I also saw this other definition, and this relates back to Voltron again, about Shiro, and how Shiro, in a way, is queer baiting because they never put any elements about him being queer in the show, and just kind of threw Adam in there and then killed him off. So then you also have another queer thing about like killing your gays. And that's a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, that is a thing.
And the thing is that, like, so the good example that they used was Yuri on Ice. But the reason they used Yuri on Ice is because these two characters, you see them build and, like, slowly get to know each other. Like, they have those moments of, like, having a possible romantic connection. Like, they do flirt and stuff. It's not just, like, really sudden. They're hinting that these characters could be queer already. Like, it's not out of nowhere. Whereas Shiro's, it was, like, so out of nowhere that it felt rushed. Yeah. So it was almost done so that people who are interested in watching queer media watch the show. I think because some people are so desperate for that thing, because there really isn't a lot of good representation of queer characters, that could be seen as a bait to put people to watch the show just for that, even though the way that they develop Shiro and the way that they develop his romantic relationships are really bad. Like, you can't deny that they're done badly. Like, you can debate whether or not it's queer baiting, but his romantic interests were developed very badly. So, but the thing is, like, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say, because it's Japan, and also because I feel like this movie is almost like a kid's movie. Like, you bring your kids to see this movie. And so you can't, there's only so much you can do if you wanted to make it, like, kind of queer or whatever. And I feel like they did, like, this too. I feel like it was, like, more of a fun thought to put into it and not so much an afterthought. It's just like, oh, we could also do this. Because also the other thing that they did, I told you about this, but I don't think you remember. So, like, after they do the kiss and then they get back together, there's a puff of smoke and it's a heart. You didn't say it.
I know. That's because I was going to talk about other stuff.
Okay, but anyway. But I don't think... The point is that I don't think Promare is that, because I also don't think that it doesn't have that baggage. It doesn't have the same baggage that the rest of, like, the queer baiting stuff has. So I would say yes, and it's not... I would say sure.
I would
probably,
say...
yeah.
I would say gay elements...
Yeah.
Not really gay.
Yeah, yes, that's the perfect way of putting it. And then I had a new section, and it wasn't the Is It Gay? I'm not gonna do that for everything. This is our new segment that I'm gonna try out. We'll see. It's called Are You Croyed with This Review? Like, so are you crossed with this review? So I'm gonna read a couple reviews from Google. In the future, maybe we can get some fan reviews on the show. So that's part of the reason that I want to test this out. So, in the future, we can have some fan input, perhaps. I'm going to read these 3. So I got a 5-star review, I have a 3-star, and I have a 1-star. Let's start with the 3-star. I absolutely love the beginning and the end of this movie, as well as the stylistic vision design. Sadly, its absolute hype energy against itself, and you're left feeling exhausted and confused, and not in the fun way similar works have done in the past. The action can be very hard to follow most of the time as well. The middle drags on for way too long. There's a moment that feels like the climax, but you are discovered there's at least 30 minutes left. There's also a huge exposition dump that you're supposed to accept just after the halfway mark that comes out of left field, and it is required for this film to wrap up the way that it does. I love over-the-top anime action as much as the next guy, but this didn't quite stick the landing despite how good it looked and how well it sucked you in during the opening. I personally agree with this person. Yeah. All the stuff that they said was actually I agree with them pretty much wholeheartedly. I wouldn't give it a 3 probably. I'd probably give it a 3.8. 3.8 or something like that. I give it a high 3.
Definitely exposition dump.
And
the part about dragging in the middle.
I didn't feel like it dragged though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't agree. Yeah. I feel like the whole movie was fast paced and the parts that were slow were usually important.
The fact that it was fast paced just made me think that it wasn't for me.
Alright, we'll do the 5-star review next. Here we go. Loved it to no end. The visuals, the OST were stunning. The plot, while very predictable, sparked joy and every character was fun. There was never a dull moment, from fire-wielding freedom fighter mutants to giant mech battles and even some space-time travel. A plethora of LGBT messages, some wonderfully blatant and others that would only be noticed by those who have researched the community's history. I am given serotonin every time I watch this movie. Watch it and feel the inferno. I don't know about the L and the B and the well, maybe the B. I don't know if they're bi. They might be bi. But sure, there's some imagery. I actually don't know so much about the rest of the elements in the film. If there's like other things that I missed that are other messages, like other small things in it that are gay, I wouldn't be surprised if there were. Yeah. But watch it and you find out. Let me know. Yeah, send us an email about the gay things that you found in this movie. Although I don't agree with the soundtrack to the OST, original soundtrack, would not agree. Don't like that first song. It's bad. I like Leo's song though. Dun, 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 dun. That sounds like a duh. Was it anything to disagree with?
Every character was fun. Seems like a stretch to me.
Yeah, that is.
Space-time travel? Was there time?
I guess the warping is supposed to be like time travel.
Never a dull moment. But is that a good thing?
Oh man, this is a really long review. I'm gonna read their TLDR and then the last sentence because this is literally like a 6-paragraph essay. So this is a 1-star review. I wanted to like this movie. I really, really did. The whole movie is random distractions and confusion that's linked with super bright colors, erratic movement, and a candy commercial's worth of dialogue. I am overall disappointed. I honestly wish I could like the movie, but I can't. What a shame. They're talking about like how they didn't like the plot twist and things like that. I wouldn't give it a 0 or a 1 star though. I do agree that like it is confusing though.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you watch it a second time, it's less confusing. And I also think it is worth watching a second time because I feel like with animated movies especially like that, you're gonna catch stuff the second time you watch it.
There was a lot of dialogue. I couldn't look down to look at my notes. To write my notes. I guess a lot of it was unnecessary. Just because, like...
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have to make it so complicated. What's the point in that?
But sometimes, you have ideas in your head.
I guess, yeah.
Just like Ginny Nemo from Charlie Bones series. The fire is so beautiful, but also nauseating.
I can kind of see it. It's like green, weird flames and stuff, and then like it kind of looks weird, like when he's in like the dragon and stuff, and it kind of is like although I like that part a lot when he's like crying in the dragon, and then I like that part too where he turns all like black and stuff, and he's like a rage monster. I love that. That part of the animation is so good. It's like the best part of the animation.
I said it was like an anime girl transformation.
Yeah.
Like, it's random distractions, I guess. I felt like it was almost like a children's movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's do the quick would you recommend it? If you like anime, yeah, I'd recommend it. If you decently like action anime, like if you like shonen anime, watch it. If you only watch like shoujos and dramas, then you're probably not gonna like it. But if you can at least like stomach like some Naruto or something, or like Dragon Ball Z or whatever, and you like those types of like shonen, has some action in it, you're gonna like it.
Yeah, also, if you don't mind like convoluted plots, a lot of dialogue. It's really beautiful. It's
really
very nice to like watch, maybe not to comprehend.
Yeah. I feel like I said, I feel like you can get past it pretty fast.
Because other than like, the plot, there's not much.
Yeah. It's very simple.
That stops you from watching it. There's nothing like kind of offensive or like.
Or super violent or anything like that.
Yeah. Anything even like super weird that sometimes happens in anime.
Yeah, like there's no, like the weirdest thing that happens is that like Aina has some questionable shots because the way she leans in her thing, but like also Gallo's always shirtless all the time.
Yeah, well,
and I feel like there's a decent balance between like quote unquote fan service stuff. It wasn't like panty shots. That was the only questionable part of it, I feel like. Which it did make me worried when I first watched it. I was like, oh no. But that was it. There was a couple shots. But I also blame capitalism for that too. But
yeah,
but
sometimes, often with myself, you watch something and, it's all good except for those couple of shots and you just block it from your memory and then you recommend it to people or try to watch it with them and then you see it and then you have to shut it off and apologize.
Yeah, that happened on Haikyuu too. Like, I totally forgot they had like shots of just like, what's-her-face's boobs. Like, they would like do there was like a close-up shot of her boobs and it was just like, well, that was
and it's so random.
Yeah, because they would never do that ever again. They respect her as a human being. Yeah. But for that one point, it's just like...
And the world is strange and how it works.
There's no titty shots.
Money is the root of all evil.
It is. It truly is. Just like a slightly weird behind shot. A little bit. Just a little bit. Very short.
Just watch it. It'll work out.
See it in theaters. Support the movie. Maybe we'll come back in part time with more shorts. And we get shorts of all the characters. And it's in 2 parts. And it becomes as long as Avengers Part 2. 3-hour movie.
I don't know about that.
It's almost 2 hours already. You slap 3
but like
episodes.
Sitting in the theater.
I'm close to finishing my Koi.
I'm done. I just finished.
This is the first time you ever finished before me, I think. Lauren wins. All right.
Thank you.
So let's do our next Croy. Here we go. And we're gonna drink Pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse. I forget
time.
I forget what that actually means.
It
might mean
I don't
grapefruit.
know what it is.
Yeah, pamplemousse means grapefruit.
Next week is Lauren's pick. Here we go. The next one is a simple favor. And you said I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, well, it's a bad movie, but a bad movie that I thoroughly enjoy and is truly an experience.
All right.
I mean, it's not it's not that bad to watch, but it's an experience.
All right. Well, that's the episode for next time. That's all we have for today's podcast. Although
we never introduced ourselves in the beginning.
No, we did. Did we?
No, we didn't.
Oh, well, you know what happens. Whoops. I'm Alana.
And I'm Lauren.
And we're the Croy Boys. Subscribe. We're on all the things. The YouTube is behind. I'm gonna fix it starting tomorrow. We're gonna fix it. It's gonna get fixed soon.
Sure.
I got busy. I had the
I mean, I also didn't do it. I had exams and then I tried.
And
yeah, make sure to comment, review, maybe even send us your reviews of the shows and stuff that we watch.
Yeah, let us know the things you like, things you don't like. I was gonna say, if we're not on something you listen to your podcast on, send us an email so we can put it on that thing. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Promare, robots and fire from another dimension. It was gonna destroy the earth and its energy, but the Galileo team found digital aberration and the Leo de Gallo say the planet gray. We are Gallo is
action
and firefighting.
The plot was convoluted.
Was over 30 year born. They built the
This
city of
didn't
lots.
help that much.
But a robot
miss
that
it.
made his
It was
plans go
part of my
bye.
life.
And also Vinny sucks.
Bye, Vinny. Well, thanks.